Love is our true divine nature, and our heart serves as the intersection of the spiritual and physical, connecting our soul with our body as the conduit for anchoring our divinity onto the earth plane. Embodying our divinity is the key to our ascension and to manifesting our highest destiny in this life. The teachings of the heart are alchemy. Join spiritual mentor and channel Jennifer Spor each week on a sacred journey to lift the veil to remembering your divinity and meet other beautiful souls who are living the path of the awakened heart. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so happy to be here with you today. By the time you listen to this episode, it will be right on the cusp of winter solstice, which is a fantastic time to go within and tune in to the season that you're in within yourself internally, and to also tune in to the season of the lands that you are in as well, and realign yourself to your divine cyclic nature. I am extra inspired to be here with all of you today because I love this time of year, and I am feeling inspired to share with you one of my favorite stories of synchronicity from my own personal journey. And so it's probably best to start the story the way a lot of other stories start, by saying that many, many years ago, or many, many moons ago, before I moved back to Idaho, before I started my business, before I started doing this work, I was in another place and another career and another time. And I was at the point in my life where I was no longer feeling fulfilled. I no longer felt like I was making a big difference in my life. And so there were two things that I used to pray for every day all those years ago. I used to pray every day that God would bring me my divine life partner, and that I could be in a job where I felt like I was fulfilled and like I was making a difference. So fast forward a few years later, a couple of years later, and I had experienced a tremendous spiritual awakening. And upon my mother's transition from this earth, her transition actually served as a catalyst for me to take physical action to reclaim my power as a creator being, to change my circumstances. And so what ended up happening is I ended up stepping down from my career at the time, where I was living on the East Coast. And much like the lyrics of a country song, I packed up my car, rented out my house, and headed out west. I had no idea the path that was ahead for me. I just had this innate knowing in my bones and all of my being that I needed to go. And so I did. And when I moved back out to Idaho, I didn't know I was going to start a business at the time. And I was still alone. I was still single, still calling in that divine life partner. And about a year after I moved out to Idaho, I was feeling under the weather one day, and I was on a social media platform, and my now husband's name popped into my mind. And It was more like claircognizance. His name just popped in to my awareness out of nowhere. And then I thought to myself, wow, I dated this person in high school, and I haven't talked to this guy for like 25, maybe closer to 30-ish years. And I was curious about what he was up to. So he was on this platform. I found his profile. I reached out to him just to say hi. And I said something like, hey, blast from the past, do you remember me? And he replies back to me and says, of course I remember you. And then we started chatting in via Messenger. And then next thing you know, we were meeting up for a coffee, and then the rest is history. So all of those years that I had moved in and out of relationships that weren't aligned for me, all of those years that I was praying every day for my divine life partner, he was always there. We had dated in high school, and then God planted his name in my awareness, and I took inspired action, and we started dating in January of 2016. I should say started dating again because we dated in high school, and we got married in December of 2018. And actually, we will have just celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary already, which was on December 14th. And so, yeah, he was there the whole time. I mean, talk about coming full circle, right? And then, the other thing that I used to pray about every day was that I would find a new job or a new career where I felt more fulfilled. And I didn't know it at the time, but when I moved out here, I stayed on at my prior company for a while as a consultant, and then it was actually through my own journey of this huge transition I was undergoing and this tremendous awakening that I realized I was being called to start a business and to dedicate my path to supporting other people who were embracing big changes in their life as well. On my own personal journey, I had invested in lots of therapists, healers, psychic readings, coaches, all kinds of different people who were all amazing. What I was hard pressed to find at the time was someone who could help me someone who could relate to who I was becoming, what I was experiencing, and support me in actually integrating all of who I was becoming into my physical reality, someone to help me navigate all of that. And that was the spark. That was the divine spark. That was when I knew that I was meant to begin a soul-led business, that I was meant to do God's work through my business. And so I want to share the story with you today, because if I had not had the courage to take that step, to step down from my career, to make that physical move, who knows how things may have turned out. I had no idea that my prayers for a fulfilling career and a fulfilling purpose and mission, and my prayers for a divine life partner, I had no idea. I couldn't have imagined that my prayers would have been answered in the way that they were. I just had to believe, and I just had to have the courage to leap. And it's important to understand that as humans, we we tend to want to wait until things are a certain way, until circumstances are just so, for us to make a big leap, or, or that we have to be in a place where we're without fear. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It is so often, I mean, literally 99% of the time, we have no idea the next steps ahead. It's just our job to pray for what we want and to take the leap as God is guiding us. And then let everything play out. So I hope that you are experiencing many synchronicities on your own journey that are leading you to the answers to your prayers, and that you are also enjoying this season in your life. And I send you much love. Thank you for listening to Path of the Awakened Heart. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or pathoftheawakenedheart.com so you never miss an episode. To learn more about living with an awakened heart and navigating your ascension journey, visit me at jenniferspor.com.